Mr. Eric Johanson, hello, welcome in Belgium, welcome.
It's great.
We saw you yesterday performing on Swing, a free festival here in Belgium. Great festival, and you did a great show.
Thank you.
And I think for all the guitar lovers, they were excited. But
awesome.
It was great.
Thank you.
It was your first full show on your own in Belgium, I think, because
I think that's
I
right.
remember you from the Blues Garden.
Yeah.
We've been a few times to look at the performances of the show from the Roofhacker show, yes.
Nice.
You did a lot of shows this week, or is it a part of your tour here in Europe of How Must I See Swing?
We just finished a tour in the US and then came over here to do just one festival in Romania and then this festival. We will be doing a European tour later this year.
What were your expectations before the show, and were you satisfied after the show?
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, the weather was beautiful. The people were, rocking with us and standing up front, and there was a lot of people out there, and they all seem to be vibing into it.
Yeah.
I don't really ever have any expectations. You just always hope that you can connect with the people, and we
put your guitar in and then let's go.
Yeah, but I feel like we were able to connect with the audience, and that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. What did I found about you on Google or Googling and internet? You're a blues rock singer, guitarist, and songwriter from Virginia.
No, Louisiana.
No. Louisiana, that's
New Orleans.
Right. I found Alexander. That's not good.
I was born in Alexandria, Louisiana.
Oh, that's Louisiana.
But most of my life has been in New Orleans, and New Orleans is my home and my musical home and everything.
That's what I want to add, yes, but most of your time you want to be in New Orleans, in the south. Is that
Yeah, I've lived in New Orleans most of my life. I still live in New Orleans, and that's it's definitely home base.
Why do all the musicians want to go in that direction and to New Orleans?
Well, I mean, I grew up. For me, that was always kind of home. I mean, I was always, even before I lived there for the first part of my life as a kid, like we were going down there for weekends. We'd go to the French Quarter or whatever. We'd go see Mardi Gras and we would, go see some music there. Go to Jazz Fest, all that stuff. So. I always connected with the city and all the different cultures and musical styles that kind of get together in the city between funk and jazz and blues and rock and everything.
Do you think that you were destined to become a musician, or why did you want to become a musician?
I don't know. I always just did. I think it just there's something that spoke to me about music and wanting to play music before I was really asking myself why. I was already doing it, but
it's not because one in the family or that people that inspires you, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had a musical family on my mom's side, especially. My grandparents owned a music store, and aunts and uncles played music and stuff like that. So we would jam around as a family.
Like I said, you are a songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a difficult job for you? When you must write a new song, or you need a new album, or
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think I've written different types of music, and I think it's actually more challenging to write the simpler music and keep it interesting. So the stuff that I do now, I'm trying to keep it very simple in a certain way, so that we can improvise on it live and really get into performing it live. And so it's finding those things that are unique but still very immediately accessible or things that we can connect with an audience that doesn't know the music, and we can have fun jamming on it. That's more of a challenge to me than writing something complicated.
Yeah, something no Jimi Hendrix songs.
Well, a lot of his stuff I would put in that category. I mean, he certainly had some big, long, complicated music, but he also had some songs that were like pretty, here's the riff and here's the song, and it's harder to do.
Yeah. Do you still remember your first album?
Oh.
Is that 2017, I think?
Oh, my first album. Yeah, of course.
Album, yeah. Burn It Down.
Yeah.
What did you want to burn down? Or what,
that's,
what was the it?
A lot of the time I feel like music, it can speak to more than just a literal story about this is my life. It can draw in just emotions and images, and the way that you feel can get into the music in a way that can apply to a lot of different situations. So in that, the whole burn it down thing for me was just freeing yourself from situations that are unhealthy for you, or bad relationships, or bad habits, or whatever. Yeah.
Then we have to go to 2020 for the next album, Below Sea Level.
Yeah.
Must to do with New Orleans, I think.
Yeah.
The flood and the water road. No?
Well, the thing is, New Orleans just is below sea level.
That's
it
right.
just always is below sea level. So, most of the city, there's a little bit of the city near the levees and stuff that's higher, but it refers. Sometimes people think when I'm saying below sea level that I mean the water being on top of you, but it's just the elevation is below sea level, which of course is why we have a lot of flooding. But even when it's not flooded, it's still below sea level.
And the next album, is it also about the Mississippi and New Orleans, the deep and the dirty?
Yeah.
Oh, you're always trying to. You can't get rid of New Orleans, I think.
Yeah. No, it's because it's a constant inspiration for me. I mean, the deep and the dirty. There's two ways that people refer to the South. They'll say the deep South, and sometimes they'll say the dirty South. That's kind of a slang, thing. And so I just liked the idea of the deep and the dirty, just as referring to the South, but also kind of the idea of the deep in terms of thought and sacred ideas or whatever, and then the dirty with the profane. So
that's what he said. He's playing very dirty, very. I was a translator, but that's no. And then your latest album was a live album. That's the first. Yeah. Live in the Mississippi.
So just I had done a live record, the live at DBA, and that one was sort of a little bit, it was really a little bit more lo-fi. I mean, it sounds good, but it was just I had this show we ended up with a recording of, and I was like, let's put this out, And this one we were able to record it a little bit better. And release it internationally and on vinyl and everything. So we were really excited about that.
Who was yesterday on stage with you? Because I don't know all the names, but can you tell us something about the bass player and the drummer yesterday?
Yeah. So for this, for these two festivals, I used some friends of mine from Europe here.
Yeah.
Partially, it's tricky sometimes to come over here for a couple of shows,
and to find.
So a lot of later in the year, I'm going to bring my U.S. band over. But the thing with international plane tickets is the ticket is the same whether you play one show or whether you play 50 shows. So sometimes if you come over to do one, it's too expensive to bring everybody over.
I know.
So I'm thankful to know some great musicians here in Europe. These guys have done some of the blues caravans with Roof Records. So Tomek German on bass, he and I toured together last year when I was doing the Blues Caravan tours. And then Denis Palatin from France was on drums, and he and I just did this festival in Poland last month. But they're so great, and they've played with a lot of my friends from the U.S. that have come over here, and you know, picked up a European band. So
you can always call the Ozdemirs, you know, the family. Arkan Ozdemir, the bass player, and the son, and the other.
yeah.
They were yesterday also on stage with.
Pittman.
Yes, with Sean
Sean
Pittman.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you know, to me, what's cool about this is everybody I play with is amazing,
Yeah.
and they always bring a little bit of their own flavor to it,
Yeah.
and I think
Also-
that's what's cool. You know, it's the music. The song might be the same, but they'll have their own little accent on it.
I give you some free promotion time.
Oh, okay.
Why must people buy one of your albums?
Well, you know, I think that I try to be inspired by the music in the same way that a lot of the stuff was happening in the late 60s and early 70s, when people were taking blues and they were taking psychedelic influences, and they were, you know, taking rock and roll, and they were just doing whatever felt right to them. And that's really, I'm not trying to be a retro act, but I'm trying to do that same thing, in that I'm trying to make things that really just inspire me, rather than trying to be a traditional, you know, blues artist or a modern rock artist or anything like that. To me, these things just come together naturally, and I try to make original music that you know, means something to me. And so yeah, I think fans of anything from blues to jam band to heavy rock might get into what we do, and should check it out.
Okay, I have some general questions to finish.
Sure.
I think, like everyone, that you also have plans, things that you want to do, called your bucket list. Do you still have open items on it that you say?
Oh yeah.
Maybe shows or places that you want to play, or to play with somebody, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I really, I mean, I want to play all over the world, you know. I would like to obviously continue touring Europe. I'd like to get down to Australia and New Zealand again.
You haven't been in New Zealand.
Yeah, I lived in New
So-
Zealand for a little over 4 years, but I'd like to go back and play, and also to, you know, like Australia and
Down under.
and you know, Asia, but really just kind of continuing to tour and everything. You know, one of the guys that I've been a fan of for a long time is Warren Haynes. I connected with him more so last year. I've met him over the years, but we connected after the Holland Blues Fest, and you know, he's one of the guys that I'd like to work with.
Yeah.
But you know, there's so many people. I mean, that God, you know, Derek Trucks, and you know, all these. There's a lot of people I'd like to jam with. You know.
Your bucket list is long enough.
Yeah, sure.
But also young enough to do the items. So, okay, a last question.
Sure.
Eric, has being a musician made you become a different person, or did that change you as a person?
Well, I've been a musician my whole life. I don't really know, but I do think that it makes you maybe tap into something bigger than yourself, bigger than your own thinking about your own life, because you're having to listen and you're having to respond to things in a way that gets you out of your own thoughts. So I think that is a good, I mean, it's something that I can't imagine not doing, but it's also something that you strive to get better at, because you always want to be a better listener and be better at responding to your environment and being in the present moment with the music, but then also just with life. So yeah, I don't have a time in my life where I didn't remember wanting to be or thinking of myself as a musician, but I think it's helped, give me a thread running through my life.
A kind of freedom to do what you like to do.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Johanson, these were my questions. Thank you a lot for your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you again for the show last evening. It was great and we all enjoyed it, and I don't think that we are the only ones.
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.